Football Manager 2026 is going to be the biggest release in Football Manager's history. After the delay and the cancellation, the fans, the viewers, the creators like myself are waiting to see what this game has, if it truly is going to be this big thing that they're talking about. In today's video, I'm going to go through the 5 things that I believe Football Manager 2026 needs to succeed. Now, these opinions in these video boys come from someone who's an experienced player, but also bearing in mind that this game is looking to bring in new players and what the new players might need compared to us experienced players who may not care about certain things more than a new player / a younger generation that Football Manager are trying to target. We've got 5 things to go through in today's video. Whatever you're doing, whether you're eating your tea, you've got it in your left hand, or you're just having a brew in the morning, enjoy what I think FM26 needs to succeed. Now on this video, boys, I'm not just going to be on Football Manager. I'm going to be going through different websites, using other games as an example. Just for my first point, I think the first thing that this game needs is an easier to understand UI. Now, for people who don't understand what UI is or aren't too familiar with them sort of terms, UI means the user interface, how the user navigates through the game, the menus, how things flow. And I've got to say, for a game that was released in even 2023, this user interface is so basic. And bear in mind, lads, that this is a skin that I've got on top of this game. So I've got a skin on top of this now to try and make the game look as good as possible, to make the squad screens look as good as possible, to make the tactics screen look as good as possible, the scouting screen. This is the home screen. Look at this for a home screen on your save. Let me remove my skin and show you what the game actually looks like. So here it is, boys, without this skin. You can see already the text, the boldness of the text looks weird. The team, it just doesn't look good. This doesn't look like a modern game where it's enticing to look at. And again, I understand for experienced players, this is not the be-all and end-all. Football Manager players who've been playing since the crack of dawn, these types of players aren't bothered about graphics. You know, they just want the immersive game, the development of Wonder Kids, the building a club. I completely get it. But for a new game with a new engine, this has got to be near top of the list. If you look at these like screens, these tactic screens, it's just so outdated. You know, if you look at the general squad view, imagine you're a new player coming onto Football Manager and you're looking at this. You know, I mean, if you've got a bit of football knowledge, maybe, yeah, it's okay, but it's just so much going on at once. Like, you're probably thinking, what does this mean? What does this mean? What do all these mean? What does all this mean? What does all this mean? There's something else I'm going to talk about how you can make it easier for new players coming in when looking at a lot of information later on in the video. But for me, first things first, boys, is a new user interface is needed. It is so outdated. It is so old. It's basic colours. It's fonts that don't even look enticing. The screens have got way too much information on them. You know, like I say, for new players, there's just too much going on all of these screens for people to learn and understand what is going on coming onto the game, maybe from FIFA or maybe from other football games that they play. So to sum up that first point, boys, the user interface needs to be upgraded, especially for the new players. Now, my next point, boys, is all about the match engine and the animations that you see. Now, Football Manager, again, for us experienced players, older players of the game, it's not that important. You know, having a 3D match engine for some people is just even like groundbreaking. You know, for years and years, Football Manager was a 2D game. But again, as a creator, as a player of the game, I understand for this game, for it to go bigger and better, you've got to improve what people see. Football Manager are targeting a younger audience by moving to console, moving to Switch. If you want to entice a younger audience into the game, the first point, the user interface, it's got to be more enticing and better to look at. Second of all, the gameplay has got to be good. Games that go global, that go world popular. Fortnite, for example. Fortnite, amazing gameplay, so fun to play. Every game was different. But also the graphics, bright colours, you know, fun building colours and, you know, really like easy to look at. That is what makes a game like this. Football Manager at the moment, gameplay-wise and how the game feels when you're getting into it, yeah, it's top of the draw. It is unbelievable to play FM, the stories, the rebuilds, everything you do. But the graphics and how it looks, Jesus, that is absolutely down there. And that is why, you know, Football Manager is not up there, whereas FIFA is and these other games that are massive. So what I'm going to show you, boys, in what I'm talking about is something in FIFA 18 that happened. So 2018 was real player motion technology was added into the game. Now, if you look here, lads, FIFA 18 introduces real player motion technology, the system behind the biggest step in gameplay innovation in the franchise history. The new animation system unlocks the next level of responsiveness and player personality. Now Ronaldo and other top players feel and move exactly like they do on the real pitch. Now, this was in 2018, and I know FIFA as a company and a franchise and a game is way bigger than FM, I'm not naive. But what I am saying now is that in 2020-25, potentially 2020-26, can FM not get this real player motion technology in? Can you imagine playing FM and signing a player from real life like Mbappe where he makes blistering runs, like Vinicius Jr. with a unique dribbling style, like Cristiano Ronaldo still with how high he can jump, giving players identities and personalities in the game to separate them. For example, a random player from Hellas Verona might not have his own animations and stuff, completely understand that. But when you're playing FM and you're using these top players, you should now at this point in 2025, 2026 for a game that has been around for so many years, you should start having these real animations, the real gameplay. You know, you should be able to look at the game and go, that's Lamine Yamal on the left wing or the right wing. You know, at the moment you go onto FM and you can't really tell Dick from Harry, if we're honest. For example, so what I always say as stream as a joke, can you imagine having, let's say Vinicius Jr., a real skillful player? Imagine watching Vinicius Jr. rainbow flick on Football Manager. Just imagine just seeing that in the match engine. You think for all these new players, if they could sign players, see them do step overs, see them do the things that players from FIFA love really. Now I know I'm comparing Football Manager to FIFA, two completely different games, but it's the closest I can do really in terms of competition. You know, if you look at FIFA over the years, one of the biggest things people enjoy looking at is skill moves, travellas, finesse shots. Every single year I feel like one of the biggest points of FIFA is the new skill moves added, the new animations, the shooting, the new dribbling animations. These are always the biggest things at the front of people's minds. Add these to Football Manager. Get things in Football Manager, roulette, step overs, ball rolls. Get all these things in the game. As you can see here on this post, by the way, from FIFA 18, player personality, Ronaldo's sprint, Sterling's turn, Griezmann's technique. They're adding individuality to the game. Dribbling overhauls, dribbling mechanics, making more creativity, 1v1, more defined touches, tighter turns, exploding. You don't see, like on Football Manager, a winger dribble at a fullback, stop the ball and accelerate. You don't see it smoothly. It's not fluid. And this is just a point, my second point, boys, about the gameplay and the match animations. If they can implement things like this, make players feel like the players they are. You know, Trent Alexander-Arnold from right back should be doing switches across the pitch perfectly. You know, Kevin De Bruyne making through balls only Kevin De Bruyne can at a high pace. If they can somehow get this into the game, it will take the game, like I said, gameplay being down here and the immersion you feel up here, it will take it to this, and this is what you need for a great game. Next up, boys, the third thing that I think Football Manager needs to succeed is some sort of tutorial mode. Now, this can be done in various different ways. You can literally have a mode where a player opens the game and it puts them straight into a scenario that they have to manage or they have to edit, etc. Or you can have talked through instruction on the game. Do you boys know when you load Ultimate Team for the first time on a new account? Who used to do SBC accounts back in the day, boys? You'd load a new Ultimate Team account. You would go into Ultimate Team. It would tell you to pick a kit, a badge, create a club name, and of course that's not in Football Manager. But as soon as you were off them screens, you were taken into an Ultimate Team squad screen. There would be a voice in your ear. Was it Martin Tyler? I think it was. Martin Tyler would be talking to, welcome to Ultimate Team. This is your squad. If you do this, you can pick your formation. If you do this, you can change the roles. If you do this, you can swap players out. Football Manager needs this in the new game. Like I said earlier on in the video when showing you Football Manager currently, when people come onto this game, it is so intimidating to look at all this text. Get a voice in people's ears, or make a mode where you get put straight into it and you get forced to make a tactic, you get forced to play a game and make substitutions, you get forced to change player roles. For example, you go into a game, you get an injury 20 minutes in, it shows you how you have to hold down left click to take your centre mid off. 45 minutes in, it could say, oh look, at half time you're actually playing your winger not in his best position. You're playing a right footed winger on the left as a winger, not an inside forward. It would suit him more to cut in. As the change is made, it shows an animation of your winger cutting in and scoring. That's off the top of the head. It's so easy to do something like that, but it will make the world of difference. Now from a creator point of view, creators every year profit from no tutorial. They get to make big tutorial videos, how to manage your squad, how to do transfers, how to make the best tactic. They get hundreds of thousands of views every year. But I'm talking from a player point of view, from a creator who wants this game to become bigger. The new players need a tutorial mode. The closest thing I could find, boys, is that EA for FIFA. Again, I know I'm using FIFA, but it's the closest thing football-wise I can find. They literally have websites where it talks about a starter guide and what does what and what does this. You know, I'm just scrolling through. I'm not reading it all. But it's talking about every segment of the game. Now, I might be wrong. Football Manager might have this. But does it look like this? Is it clear and concise? Is it bullet pointed? Does it have screenshots? Because I can guarantee if Football Manager have this, it will be a big blog post with 150 lines, no spaces, no bullet points, no screenshots, using the most adult language possible that new players can't understand. 100%, boys, for me, a tutorial mode is needed next year. Okay, boys, the fourth thing that I want to see in Football Manager 2026, but actually, just before we get into it, if you've made it this far through the video and you're a new viewer, please like and subscribe. If you've made it this far, you're clearly enjoying the content. We make Football Manager videos, rebuilds, talking videos like this, fun challenges. We do all sorts of videos on Football Manager, and next year is going to be even bigger for the channel. And also, if you are someone who likes to watch Twitch, I also do stream on Twitch, Big Robbo 14 on Twitch too. Stream Football Manager pretty much every single day. If that's more what you're into, come and check it out, boys. But anyway, getting into the fourth point, Football Manager needs challenge modes. Now, I know on console they have something similar to this, and this is why it baffles me that it's not on PC. They need some sort of challenge mode, a creative mode, a DLC mode. They need things that people can come on and enjoy themselves for one night doing. Football Manager is well known to be a game that you go on and you play a save for months. You go 10, 20 years in the future. You take Rochdale to the Premier League. Twitch viewers will know why that's funny. You do things like this on Football Manager, and it's so fun, it's immersive, there's no problem with it. Why can't we have a mode where it is, for example, hey Big Robbo, here's a challenge for you. We have relegated Man United from the Premier League. You've got 5 seasons to win as many trophies as you can. Load into this save file. You know, things like this. Why is this not in the game? One of the biggest things that the game Fortnite did was add a creative mode. It allowed people to make custom maps, which then led to people 1v1. And do you know the 1v1 fights where they start behind a wall, they edit it, and they go up the stairs? That became one of the biggest things in Fortnite for YouTube, for Twitch, for just players in general. Imagine a challenge mode on Football Manager where the community themselves can make challenges and import them into Football Manager for other people to play. For example, they could import the challenges and users could search by popular challenges, 5-season challenges, challenges to do with Wonder Kids, challenges to do with 10 years. I just think it's such a good idea that can take people away from the generic 20-year saves. From a creator point of view as well, I would love to have a save that I do for 2 or 3 months, 10, 20 years in the future on stream and on YouTube. But every Friday or Saturday, Joe, you know what, boys? Let's go into challenge mode this weekend and see what's going on. We'll complete a challenge today. That would be so fun. But the other thing, lads, that I want to point attention to on the Sort It Out SI website, and you can find these on loads of our websites, is that the community themselves have already made the challenges. Look at all these challenges. Look at all the different names. Now, I know these ones don't look too familiar, but off the top of the head, Youth to Goal, Glory Hunter, Pentagon, Journeyman, Football Manager already have a bank of ideas they can just put into their game through the community. So even if they didn't have a mode where community could make challenges, they could release 2 or 3 challenges a month, and there's about 1 million out there that people have already made, the ideas, the concepts. And I also think as well, for the less, hardcore players, to be able to come on every now and then and just do a challenge or do something a bit more fun or creative, instead of tying people down to being like, unless you do a save that's 10 years, you're not valid, you're not going to get the full immersive experience. I just think it'd be a brilliant mode. I think it'd be a brilliant mode for content. Obviously, the better content, the better views, the better, more players are coming into the game. And like I say, boys, all of these points are coming from a creator point of view and a player point of view. From a creator point of view, boys, the better the game is, the better the content is, the better the views are, the more people that are going to see the game, the more people that are likely to buy the game. From a player point of view, the better the game is, the more likely people are going to watch it, and they're actually also going to spend more time on it. For example, why are people playing FIFA career mode? Can you believe in 2025 people are playing FC25 career mode over FM? It can't happen. It can't happen anymore, and I'm going to be the one that changes it with this video, because that's how you're going to watch it. Now, boys, the last point of the video, and this is something that I genuinely believe is something that holds Football Manager back massively, but it's very subtle. The AI conversations and how your players handle, like, criticism or praise. Also, this kind of ties in with AI managers on the game. Why is the AI in 2025 when AI at this point, okay, I know this game was made in 2023, but for the next game, AI nowadays and how powerful it is and what it can achieve, the AI in this game has got to be improved. The way press conferences work, the way players conversate with you, the way they react to things, the way AI managers sign players, the way AI managers make their tactic. It is so outdated and so stupid. That's the word. Idiotic and stupid. It's unbelievable. You'll get managers like Pep Guardiola, who only signs players that are good on the ball in tight areas, blah, blah, blah. He'll go and sign Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin's never going to play for City. Or he'll go and buy a centre-back with no passing ability. Things like this will make the game so much more immersive and so much better, but it'll be such a subtle change that you probably barely even notice, but it'll make a world of difference. Now, for example, boys, we've got a Reddit post here that's showing like a press conference, for example. First of all, again, tied into the graphics and everything, this looks absolutely horrendous. Like, your manager's not even sat in the seat. They've just got a background of an empty boardroom and put your team's badge on a few of them. But it's like here, right, like, you should be, as a manager, right, these press conferences should be so important on the game. If you think about real life, how important press conferences and how managers' personalities are and etc., etc. To do with the job security, to do with how they're perceived by pundits and, the media. All you do on this screen, right, and tell me if I'm wrong, all you do is click positive. You just go like this with your left click. You just like this on positive. You're just spamming your left click. It doesn't matter. Press conferences, absolutely useless. You either send your assistant, or if you accidentally attend one, like I say, you just spam the positive one. Shouldn't be like that. It's an immersive part of the game. You're a manager getting your personality across and talking about your team. Again, we've got a Reddit post where I agree with a lot of the points made. Praising a player's training performance on a weekly basis gets tedious. Don't only get tedious, if you praise your players for training well too often, they actually say to your boss, can you stop praising me? I'm not being funny in real life. If I'm a manager and my player week in, week out is training well, I'm going to tell them they're training well. And the ones that aren't training well, I'm going to tell them they're not training well. And it works both ways. The ones that you tell they're doing really well every week end up having a go at you. And the ones that are training bad every week have a go at you. You can't win. You lose morale. And as well on this game, morale is, honestly, it's probably the be-all end-all. After your tactic, I mean, if your morale's bad, you don't win a game. Don't matter what tactic you've got. And that kind of ties in with this. Needlessly negative reactions to minor issues. Players will come to you like, oh my God, like, boss, we've not got enough depth in goalkeeper when you've already got 3 goalkeepers. Or just things like this, like the players don't get involved with in real life. The AI interaction, it's awful. Another one as well, where you'll sign a player. Say I've got a right winger who's 3-star ability and I'll sign another right winger who's 3-star, 3.5 star. The player will burst into your office. Hey boss, I hope you're not signing him to replace me. If so, I'm leaving. What player, after a manager in real life signing a player, would storm in and be like, unless I'm not, if I'm playing, sorry, I'm getting wound up now. If I'm not playing every week other than him, I'm leaving. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Of course, some conversations might happen where you talk about playing time, but players are so unreasonable. And again, it ties into this one. They're always negative and needlessly aggressive when coming into AI conversations. Off the top of the dome, contract talks, playing time talks. It's players talking to you about the facilities, players talking to you about the staff. What players come to you about staff? You should hire more coaches. I'm not happy with this and that. Like, it doesn't happen. And also it ties in with the AI as well, with the emails that they send you. You continue one day, you get 12 emails, only one of them matters. Again, this ties into the first point. A new player comes into the game, continues once, gets 12 emails that they read through because they think they're all important, when really the only important one is seeing your training ratings from that week. Like how the AI is modelled and how they interact with you as the manager, whether it's your staff, your players, your assistant, your scouting team. It just needs a rework. It needs a rework to make it more concise and more relevant to what the role of each AI player is. There should be an AI model for the players, for the staff, for the scouting team, for your assistant. It should all be different and all actually make sense. To sum it up, boys, number 1, easier to understand user interface. Number 2, better match engine and better match animations. Number 3, some sort of tutorial mode, help new players. Number 4, a DLC or challenge mode. Make Football Manager also short term, fun, engaging, challenging, but short term. And number 5, improve how the game speaks to you. Improve how your immersion is with the game, how AI responds to what you click, your tactic, your players, etc. These are the 5 things that I think Football Manager 2024 needs to succeed. If you've made it through to the end of the video, I'd love to know in the comments what you think it needs to succeed. Whether you agree with my points, disagree with some, or you've got completely different points to me that you think are massive as much as I think these 5 points are massive to the new game. If you're new to the channel, again boys, please subscribe. Hopefully we get a great FM26. Fingers crossed. But I'll see you boys on the next video. Bye bye.